Hi, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video I want to talk to you about the one hot topic that's taken over all the headlines, social media, news outlets, and it's what everyone's talking about at the moment. You guessed it, it's the coronavirus and COVID-19. Now, before I get out and start talking about this video, what's to come, I want to mention something very important. Guys, this is an opinion piece. I am not a doctor. I do not understand the molecular biology behind this virus, but what I do understand is the economic impact that it's going to have and already having on our country and globally. Also, the supply chain and the trucking industry in general. So those are the things that I want to talk about. Now, kind of moving on from there, you guys know from the news, from yourself going out to stores, seeing the store shelves, seeing that basic supplies have been running out. A lot of the stuff is getting back in and getting resupplied, getting restocked, but a lot of it isn't. So for example, water, toilet paper, rice, flour, different types of masks, from N95, P95, R95, 98, 100s, respirators, hand sanitizers, rubbing alcohol, things like that. All of this stuff is slowly going out. And by the way, if you see me looking down or away, it's because I took some notes to keep this video on task and as focused as possible. I want to provide you guys the most information possible in the shortest amount of time and kind of get through this here. But coming back to the shortages that we're seeing in stores, the reason we're seeing these shortages is primarily because of one of three things, or a combination of these things, and that would be panic buying, hoarders, and preppers, right? So the trucking industry will be greatly affected by all of this. We will be strongly affected in a very, very negative way. And unfortunately, there's nothing that you and I can do about it. We just have to get through this process. Many of you guys know, and I wish more non-trucking folks out there knew about this, but if you bought it, a truck brought it. You've heard this before, right? So the truth is that we keep America functioning. We bring in the products that are found on the store shelves, and it's unfortunate that most people don't understand how these things arrive and how they're there. They hate the trucks that are on the roads, but they don't understand that they're providing them the same water that they're fighting over, the same toilet paper and all the other products that they're fighting over at the stores now. Had it not been for truckers, none of that stuff would have been on the shelves. But you know what? That's a topic for another video. And in fact, I'll give you this example. When I was a kid, I worked at Costco, and I had the most basic job of bringing in carts and bringing boxes and helping put stuff into shopping carts, taking it, helping customers take it out to their car, etc., etc. So whatever I was asked to do, I basically did it. And I didn't last very long. That was a seasonal position, and then I moved on to something else. But I've made lots of relationships with different managers and people that were working there. And so whenever I go to Costco, I like to talk to them. And a couple weeks ago, I was at Costco on 21st South. Many of you guys have probably delivered some sort of products there at that location. You may or may not know, but that's actually the world's largest Costco. It was always a very large warehouse, but they expanded it a couple years ago and made it even bigger. They put a business center there and several other types of services. And so it's a very large building. And what the manager told me is that generally speaking, most of the time they're selling about half a truckload of water, bottled water, per day. Now, what they've been seeing when I spoke with them, they were selling 2 to 3 truckloads of water by noon. After that, they were completely out. Now, you got to understand that we're in what they call a JIT system. The United States and a lot of other countries work on a JIT system. What that means is just in time. So they only order as much product as they believe will sell. And when things like this come up, where there's this panic buying or whatnot, and people are stocking up, we run out of product. And we just simply cannot go and just order more stuff because the warehouses only have so much. I mean, it goes back. It's a supply chain, and it goes back and it affects everyone. You may have heard of a company called Baxter. Now, Baxter provides and manufactures medical supplies such as saline solution bags and syringes and possibly masks and things like that. And they have mentioned that they will no longer be providing these products to the general public in America, and most of this will be focused to federal and state governments as well as medical facilities. You may know, I didn't know this, but India, the country of India, actually produces 25% of all the genetic drugs for the United States, or at least provides the ingredients to create these items, these prescriptions. And I mean, the latest statistics shows that over 40% of the U.S. population is on some sort of a prescription drug. So how this is going to affect the country and the people that need these medications every single day is completely beyond me, and how we're going to come out of that. Hopefully we have this stuff stockpiled, but with the amount of different types of medications, I just don't think that's even a possibility. So, all of these things are going to affect the market and us, and trucking will slow down. Trucking will slow down. I mean, everything is imported, right? Everything is brought in. Look at the type of, look how dependent we've become on China and many other countries. And this isn't just for America. I mean, most countries out there are dependent on their neighbors, and it's a global economy, and that's how it works. But as soon as something like this happens with a country like China, and they lock down their borders and exports, suddenly we're feeling the pinch out here in the United States. So this will affect us. Plus, you got to consider truckers will get sick, right? Some truckers will just refuse to go out to work. Some will just, draw a line in the sand and say, you know what, this is past my comfort zone. I'm not willing to go. I'm not willing to do this. Plus, we're in touch with shippers, receivers, lumpers, different types of organizations. You go to truck stops, you eat out at restaurants. You go all over the country, and so. We have a higher chance of getting infected and of infecting others. So we're in a way kind of helping to spread the virus, and who knows how far this can all go. I really believe there will be company closures. I think trucking companies will close down. People will leave their positions, and there may be other reasons for this. There may be some quarantines that are put in place. Look at what just happened in Italy, right? 16 million people have been put under lockdown. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll have a medical martial law put into effect. Now, I don't know how far this will go, because we're not like China in a sense that we're not a communist country. We are used to, our civil liberties. We are used to having certain rights, and our way of life is very different from the way of life of many other people out there in the world. So I don't know how far the government will be able to push, and how comfortable they will be about pushing the general populace into doing things that we may not agree with. I'm hoping, and I don't know if this is good or bad, but I'm hoping that there will be allowances made for the trucking industry, so that truckers can continue to operate and can continue to work if they choose to, because like I said, otherwise we're going to be in a really tough spot. And I just don't see how this is going to be corrected, because the trucks, they bring in the products, all the food and all the water that we eat and drink. And I don't know any other way of getting around that. Now, how dispatch services can help, as you know, we are a truck dispatch service, and we also lease on owner operators. So two different services that we provide. And unfortunately, as good as we are, when the markets go down, that affects the entire market. And so we're unable to make, magic happen. So although our rates are considerably higher than what most truckers are able to get because of where they are and working in a truck from a small laptop screen or a tablet, from their cell phone, we have more tools, more data, more information, and we certainly have a lot more experience, because we deal with loads, brokers, shippers, 3PLs, freight forwarders. We do this on a daily basis. We have a lot more experience, because once we book a load for you, we don't just call it a day. We go on to the next customer, next customer, next customer, and we're doing this all day long. And so we know markets, we know commodities, we know where the markets are going, which markets are heating up and cooling down, and how to triangulate drivers in order to get the highest possible average rate. And so we provide that at a cost of 7%. for those who have their own MC authority, who are operating under their own MC authority. Now, we also provide a service for owner operators who would like to lease on under a strong company and not have to deal with running their own trucking company. Generally, when I speak with different owner ops, they're being charged anywhere from 28 to 35% for these services, and in certain cases even higher. Now what we do is we're actually considerably less costly. We charge 12% plus deductions. When you combine it all together, it ends up being somewhere between 19 and 21% depending on how you set up the program. And every trucker is different, every truck is different, every setup is different. So it's still considerably cheaper than operating with the vast majority of trucking companies out there offering the ability to lease on under them. And in either case, you're working with the same dispatchers, whether you're an MC holder or you are leased on, you're working with the same dispatchers. And while you're allowed and more than welcome to book your own freight under any load board that you choose, we highly recommend, I highly recommend that you use the dispatchers because of the fact that they have the tools, the knowledge, the skill set, and the experience in order to get you higher paying loads and get you the higher average that you're looking for. So that's also provided. So definitely get in touch with us. And again, there's a difference between costs and rates, right? I mean, you can get us a low rate service. Say you get yourself a dispatch service for the 4 or 5%, but they're getting you low rates. What's the point of that? You know what I mean? So I'd rather you make $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 per month, depending on equipment and how much you drive and market conditions, of course, and get charged 7%, than for you to make $15,000 and get charged 5%. There's a giant difference there. Plus the fact that we're working on a percentage basis means that, we're very, very interested in you making more money because that's where our paychecks come from. So we're very interested in you having the highest possible rates, being very, very profitable and happy with our services. And that's partly the reason why once people get started with us, they just simply don't go. And I wish we could handle the entire freight market in the United States, but we simply cannot do that. There's only so much that we can provide. So I urge you to take advantage of this because competition will be fierce. Truckers will go against truckers, and I hate to say it because we are a community. We all work together, but the reality is that the equation's simple. Lots of truckers, limited amount of freight will equal to low rates and low freight costs, right? So we're already, a lot of guys are operating at below operating costs and barely making it by. And virus or not, the mortgage's got to get paid, the truck payments got to get paid, insurance, fuel, you got to put food on the table. Obviously, you got to be, if those wheels aren't rolling, you know what I mean, you're not making money. So you might as well make more money on your miles by using a strong dispatch team. And so we still have some spots available. We can still lease people on, and we can make you more money, but you do need to express some interest, get in touch with us. And there are several ways to do that. So, oh, by the way, guys, please share, comment, subscribe to this channel. It really helps a lot. It's really appreciated because that tells the YouTube algorithm to put this video out there, and very, very appreciative of you of doing that. It only takes 2 seconds to click the like button, to tap the like button, to to share it on Facebook and other social media platforms out there. That really, really helps us a lot, and it's greatly appreciated. So please do like, share, and subscribe. We don't post very much. I don't always have the time to do so, but when I do, I try to make sure it's quality content that's going to be useful to you. We also provide a lot of content on our website. And speaking of that, so you can get a hold of us on our website. More information is available. There's also a chat box available there. Just fill it in, type in your question. It'll be sent to me. And if any of our agents aren't available to answer your question right away, it will get filed, and I will answer them personally. Just make sure not to forget to put your email address in the message there so I can email you, because you may or may not receive that message back unless you put an email. Otherwise, I will personally email you and answer all your questions. You can also reach me over the phone at 801-448-6363 extension 1. Again, 801-448-6363 extension 1. Our website is aftdispatch.com/go. All of this information will be provided in the description box below on YouTube, Instagram, and all the other platforms we're on. Also take a look at our website. I mean, all the information is provided there at aftdispatch.com/go. Goes into great detail about everything. And again, I hope that this doesn't affect you, your families. I hope it skips you guys completely. But reality is, and like the CDC has said, they've agreed that this will likely affect everyone. So be safe, be healthy, and get started with our services, because I think things are about to get really bad. And those with a strong dispatch team behind them are going to be that much more effective, that much more profitable, and it may just make or break them in terms of their profitability and staying in business.